Hello everybody, welcome to my studio painting that started as a plein air painting at Stonington, Maine. One of my earlier YouTube installments shows me painting on this location in October. It's been a very popular YouTube clip, and it's got a lot of hits, and the advantage was that you could see me in the drawing stage there working directly from the subject or the motif as it's called, and I've had some quite a bit of studio time here, so I'll show you a couple of things that I'm just tweaking here at the end. And if you come in here to see, I was just popping up the lights on the house here, and what I was paying attention to was these slants of light. And this was one of the serendipitous things that happened, was this wonderful slant of light. When I first started, the house was completely in shadow, and as the sun went to the right, it cast this nice shadow, which I really liked. And then all the other angles were sort of corresponding. Here's one I could pop up a little bit here. This slant there, and then it was hitting down here too. I talked in the earlier installment when I was working on location about plumb lines. We have horizontal plumb lines and vertical plumb lines. Where horizontal plumb lines come in is to see how things line up. For example, these different spatial relationships. This island is a little bit closer, so it's a little further down. This one's further back, so it's further up. So that's what I was looking at when I was painting it, is seeing how these horizontal, but also the vertical ones, to see how things were lining up. For example, this chimney on this house, how it related to the verticals of these windows. And I composed the whole thing right on location, and it was done quite quickly and spontaneously, but the drawing was fairly accurate. I had to rework some of the areas, but basically everything was in place. And one of the things that was key to this painting was the eye level, which is right here, and also the vanishing point for some of these houses. And that comes in because these orthogonals and all of these perspective lines or orthogonals are leading right over to here. So I did use a ruler for those, but I had it all established when I was there. And this is the eye level, so you can see that's the where it's going horizontally there, and as you go up, they increasingly go more tilted. And these two houses here are on a different perspective plan. In other words, all these three houses are pointing this way, and these two houses are pointing, you can see it here kind of in a slant, maybe with a vanishing point here. And here's one of the, can you see my palette here? Can you come into my palette? I'm mixing up kind of a muted mauve here to get a kind of a light gray. So this is one of the areas here that I was working on, was to get this slant showing that the perspective is, you'll see a little bit of the left side of the house, in other words, and a little bit of the slant of the of both of these roofs, the pitches. And I also did it here some, I want to get a little darker color for that. So I was doing these, there we go, these lines to indicate the tilt or the slant of these roofs. So we can see some of the pitch there to both of those roof lines. Okay, The light was one of the main things, and I've done successive layers of popping in the light here, and I can do a little bit more. I will do a varnish of liquid, and then I'll probably pop in the lights even more here too. But that was kind of key also, because when I started, the glint was right about here, and as the sun went over, so I was thinking what was kind of the best position for the glint of the on the ocean here. So, and then keeping the light consistent. And I added the figure here, Linda here at the end. And I thought that was a good position. She's kind of in what I call the dynamic point, or a sweet zone there. So, and the values, getting the values to work. This was one kind of interesting value. Even though it's in the light, the value of the roof here is not that much different than the shaded area of the house, the clapboard part. And so that was just an interesting effect. Even though it's in the light, it's not that much different in value between the shadow and all these various lights here on the houses and the trees and so forth. And then the islands going back into space, gradually getting those to go lighter and softer as it goes back in space. And one of the last things I corrected here was this mountain here. I had it a little bit too high here, and I wanted to bring it down so the width or the height, the thickness of it was a little less there. Okay, so I think that's all I wanted to point out about this, except it is an oil painting on linen, which is glued to a panel. And you'll remember from the earlier installment, it was kind of windy there. That's when I had to stop the process, because it got a little too windy. So this is my combination plein air studio painting of the lovely village on Deer Isle in Maine of Stonington, Maine. So look for it on my website and other places. Our two websites, briankeeler.com and northstarartgallery.com. Okay, thanks so much for your attention. Cheers.